down again. Rise up. Long time I broke the chains.
I think I would describe myself as a change agent. Having grown up in the south side of Belize City, I think that it's very necessary for me to become one of those persons, and I felt compelled to be one of those persons who would make a change, and hopefully any change that I can bring as an agent of the community that could actually influence more people to become part of the change that is required in our country. There have always been difficulties in my life because I grew up in a single parent home, seeing the difficulties of that, especially with my brother, and seeing how my mother struggled to actually try to make us grow up in the right path, and of course falling prey to the environment that I grew up in, and being a part of the streets and being a part of the difficulties that our society sees in young youths who engage in some level of criminal activity. In my teenage years, going to an affluent high school, there was a group of us who had kind of come together because we had some commonality together, and the commonality was basically the area that we grew up in, which is the south side, as well as some level of affiliation with some type of gang, no? And for the most part, there was we were leaning towards one specific color as it relates to the gang. It was about 6 of us who all had brothers or cousins who were already influenced or a part of a gang itself. And as time progressed, we became the junior parts of those gangs, and it led on to us becoming a part of the overall activities that they do. Even being a part of this group, we had always maintained being a part of the school itself. And we went through high school, we went through sixth form, and the older we got, the more, I guess, the more tenacity we got, and the more deeper we became in some of the activities that we did. But school has always been a part of us, the entire group. Having hung out so long with my group, we basically hung out for over 5-6 years, and you become like a brotherhood. You know, you do everything together. You actually get into trouble together. You get yourselves out of trouble together. And there's always the older ones and the younger ones. You know, and there was an older guy, which we commonly call an OG. He had gotten killed, right? And he was very close to me because I used to look up to him. And seeing how he died, and how the entire group of us were prepared to do some negative stuff to kind of avenge his death, and we were willing to do anything. I can recall an incident where I was almost in a position to actually do something negative about it, and that it became more compounded when another friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, got killed. And those type of incidences made me realize how the dangers of the streets, as well as how there's literally no way forward. I started to pull away. And even when there was a time when my mother actually took me away from the city because of I would believe that the level of anger that was in me, it was just a youth's anger that I know that I would have exploded. And I don't think that she has ever heard me say that her moving me away was probably one of the best things that happened to me, you know. And having hidden away from these atrocities that occur in our streets every day, I kind of started waking up, and it pushed me towards thinking that school is the better way for me. Having seen all those incidents that were occurring around me, I started doing a lot of reading about criminology and sociology, and learning a lot about why we do what we do. And there was a time that a minister was around, you know, and I ended up writing a letter and literally giving him in his hand and telling him there's a desperation on my part. I need to go away and study. That I really do not want to live in this environment anymore. And even now that I'm attempting to go away and study in August again to get a higher degree, I am compelled to return to be part of that change that is required. And knowing fully that I still have friends who are involved in those negative parts of life, I think that being a change agent for them, whether or not speaking to them on a daily basis, that is important stuff. I think that each person is compelled to be that pushing factor in the life of another person.